Imagine if I told you that the secret to getting rich hasn't really changed in 5,000 years. The faces, the tools, and the empires have changed, but the core strategies, the patterns of wealth, are timeless. Today, we're going to break down exactly how the rich got rich in every era, and more importantly, how you can use those same principles to build your own fortune. Whether you're looking at ancient kings, Roman senators, or modern tech billionaires, there's one common thread: control the system, or get controlled by it. But what does that actually mean, and how can you do it today? Let's take a deep dive through history, era by era, and uncover the real playbook of the wealthy. And stick around, because at the end, I'll show you how to spot the next big opportunity, before everyone else. First stop, ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt. Back then, wealth wasn't measured in dollars or stocks. It was land, cattle, and the power to feed people. The richest weren't just the ones with the most cows, they were the ones who controlled the land and the water. Here's the pattern: control the resources everyone needs. In Mesopotamia, the first cities grew up around rivers. Whoever controlled the irrigation systems controlled the food, and by extension, the people. The lesson? Find the irrigation system of your time, the essential infrastructure or resource, and get as close to its control as possible. Today, that might be data, distribution, or even attention. Pharaohs and priests didn't just hoard gold. They managed the grain, the calendar, and the stories people believed. By claiming divine authority, they made themselves indispensable. Actionable advice: build trust and authority in your field. If people believe you have the answers, or the keys to what they need, they'll follow you, and wealth will follow. In a world where one bad flood could wipe you out, the ultimate insurance policy was convincing people you had the gods on your side. Today, that's your reputation, your brand, your network. Fast forward to Rome. Senators and generals, think of them as the original CEOs, built empires on land, war, and yes, a lot of slave labor. But their real power came from their networks and their ability to influence laws and markets. The Roman elite didn't just own land, they owned the rules. They wrote the laws, controlled the courts, and made sure their families stayed on top for generations. Here's your takeaway: learn the rules of the game you're playing, then find ways to influence or rewrite them. In business, that might mean mastering regulations, building alliances, or even creating your own market. When Rome fell, feudal Europe took over. The rich became lords and kings, and wealth flowed up the pyramid. Born into money? Life's easy. Born a peasant? Good luck. The system was rigged, and the game was inheritance. If you owned the land, you owned everyone on it. The lesson here? Build assets that last. Things you can pass down, or that generate income while you sleep. Action step: invest in assets, not just income. Real estate, intellectual property, businesses, these are the modern equivalents of feudal land. But don't just own, control. The feudal lords didn't farm the land themselves. They leveraged others' labor. Today, that's about building systems, teams, and automation. Then everything flipped. The age of commerce and capitalism crashed onto the scene. Suddenly, it wasn't just kings and nobles getting rich, it was merchants, bankers, and investors. The Medici in Italy bought power with banking. They financed popes and kings, and in return, they got influence and protection. The Rothschilds built networks that made them richer than nations. The pattern? Build networks and leverage information. The Medici and Rothschilds knew things before anyone else, and acted fast. Actionable advice: build your network. Information and relationships are currency. The more people you know and the more you help them, the more opportunities come your way. Then came the Industrial Revolution. The real money moved from land to machines and markets. Factories, steam engines, railways, those who mastered leverage and scaled production took over. The Rockefellers, Carnegies, and Fords didn't just work hard. They built systems that multiplied their efforts. They used other people's money, time, and skills to build empires. Rule number 1, use leverage. Today, that means using technology, automation, and capital to scale your impact. Don't just trade time for money, build something that grows while you sleep. Fast forward to today. The playground is digital. The richest people now, they control data, distribution, and the stories we tell ourselves. Bezos, Musk, Zuckerberg, they're not digging for gold, they're building platforms. They own the rails of the digital world. Google, Amazon, Meta, these are the new kingdoms. The rich are the ones who own the code, the algorithms, the platforms. here's the twist. Every huge shift in wealth came when new systems broke the old ones. Land gave way to trade. Trade gave way to industry. Industry gave way to the internet. The lesson: don't get stuck defending the old system. Look for the next big shift and get in early. Action step: study trends. Where is attention, money, and talent flowing? What problems are being solved in new ways? That's where the next fortunes will be made. Now we're on the edge of AI. The new rich aren't just working harder. They're seeing the next system coming and making it theirs. AI is the new irrigation system. Those who learn to use it, build with it, or own the platforms it runs on will shape the next era of wealth. Actionable advice: don't wait for permission. Start learning, experimenting, and building with new technology now. The early adopters always win big. So if you want to build wealth today, don't just chase money. Chase systems. Chase leverage. Chase the next big thing. Ask yourself, what's the next system? How can I get in early? Who can I learn from? And who can I help along the way? Because history doesn't repeat. It just gets richer. The playbook is out there. The question is, will you use it? Hit subscribe for more. This is the history of money and your guide to building wealth, one era at a time.